Human beings are searching for the personal experience of reality. They are seeking to come to understand themselves, to find a reason for their own existence.
And so you go round and round and round, ever chasing the illusion that there is something outside yourself, outside your here and now, to be attained that will make things better.
No guru, no method, no teacher, and no nothing else either.
Welcome, fellow Phoenixes. As we begin to explore our minds and delve deep into the fabric of who we are, oftentimes we uncover gifts, something a little bit extra unearthed that maybe we were always aware of but never noticed as unique. These gifts can be great assets, but there is also a great responsibility that comes with these gifts. We have to consciously cultivate them, expand upon them, and oftentimes let go of our own perception of what that means. And I'd like to take a moment and just focus on what we're grateful for today. Okay, so today I'm grateful for the gifts that I have. It's pretty impressive to see where they've gone to, like how much further I've expanded upon my gifts since really understanding them in some ways, and also like seeing how far back they kind of stretch in my life, and then also like to expand upon how to utilize them. And with that, I'm going to get into today's topic, which is kind of like spiritual integrity, or like using your gifts in a ethical way. So as you can see all these cards in front of me, this is like something I've been really exploring, doing like third-party tarot card readings, like not reading for myself directly or not doing readings through my site directly, but kind of like freelance tarot work. And one of the things that has come up is, first off, a lot of people want readings outside of the scope that I normally would do, because when I do tarot readings, I like to direct it more towards what like the headspace of people, like keep it focused on the individual, not use it for divining outside instances. However, a lot of people are requesting that, and on some of these platforms, I don't have the ability to turn down jobs. So it's kind of this ethical standpoint of, well, do I make stuff up, or how do I go about answering these questions if typically I wouldn't answer them because they fall outside of what my belief structure is in regards to this. So ethically, I have to look at this with an open mind and say, if people are requesting this, I should answer what their questions are, even if my belief isn't necessarily that this is what these are used for. But then looking at how to answer these questions without inferring my intuition onto the cards themselves. Because a lot of the questions that people have asked are in regards to relationships. And a lot of my answers to these relationship questions are based upon my intuition, which is based upon my personal experience and knowledge that I've cultivated from lived experience and from experience with other people. However, that intuitive experience isn't necessarily what they're asking me to do. So if they're asking me to utilize these cards, I need to use the cards for the answer, which I mean sounds straightforward, but anybody that reads tarot, I think, would say that it can be easy to infer your own intuition onto the cards in lots of ways, and you're able to make things fit your narrative, I guess, is like the most truthful way to say it. So while I can look at a tarot card and I can interpret the symbols, the colors, and there's like a definitive meaning to it, you can, I guess the way to not sugarcoat it is you can bullshit it to fit any circumstance you want. And my goal in doing tarot card readings isn't to be a bullshitter. It's to be honest about what I see in the card. But if people are asking for specific advice, Like, should I stay with this person? Should I do that? It's difficult for me not to input my own intuition on it. I hope that this makes sense. So I've been leaning more towards following a more traditional understanding of some of the cards. And one of my understandings with tarot is that you're supposed to develop your own intuitive feel for it. So when I started reading tarot, I started looking at basically the book definition of stuff, trying to memorize that, which is difficult. Then I really started to delve into understanding my own belief of what the cards are based off of the symbols and the colors, and having esoteric knowledge of what those symbols or colors mean, or what they meant at those time periods to people, and then in interpreting that in regards to people's questions. But now I'm back at the space where I have to take my understanding and reapply these other modalities. So I have to, like, there's certain cards, like if they land certain ways, it means yes or no. Pretty much an upside down card is always a no to a question from the book that I've been utilizing. But also certain cards mean no. And I'm supposed to draw 3 cards to determine an answer, whichever one comes up more. Is it 2 no's and 1 yes? Well, then it's a no, and vice versa, which is nice because then it takes my own intuition out of everything. Because if I go around and apply my intuition to everything, that can be dangerous. And I'm not saying that the card thing can't be dangerous, like referring, because some of the stuff people ask are pretty heavy questions. And some of the stuff that people are quandering about or inquiring about can have big implications. So it shouldn't be done lightheartedly, but also I need to do it in a way where I'm trusting the universe to give me the appropriate answers, more so than relying upon myself. And the reason that I say that is my intuition has largely been correct a lot of my life. Also, though, some of my intuition has completely fucked me over. So ethically, I'd rather trust the universe and say that the cards are saying this than to say this is what I get from the cards, if that makes sense. Also, like, one of the things that really came up for me, I was set up at a show a couple weeks ago, and this lady asked me about like health issues, like, is it serious? Is it this or is it that? And from an ethical standpoint, I can't answer that. Like, I can't use the cards for that. So you have to like be able to discern, okay, should I leave this up to the universe and see what the cards say? Like, or should I apply real knowledge, or should I shoot this down? So like when I'm doing personal stuff in my personal business, I can say, no, I don't feel comfortable doing this, which is what I did with that reading. I said, I don't feel comfortable answering this question. I would prefer that you see if you can find somebody else who maybe is more comfortable doing it, or if you seek the advice of a medical professional, because that's the morally responsible thing to do. But also, like, I haven't gotten a lot of questions like that on the third party thing. And if it's in relation to romance, this, that, or the other, if I apply what my knowledge is to every situation, every breakup's going to be a no. Every instance of, will this person contact me, is going to be probably, but probably not what you want. So learning to rely on the cards more to give me answers is a better position. But also in certain situations, I have to really rely on intuition as to what the card is saying. So spirituality as like a model of helping somebody and being ethically responsible about it is incredibly tricky and murky. And I think it's something that some people take too lightly. But also, the further that I explore this realm of utilizing these tools, the further my own gifts progress in lots of ways. Like, one of the people that I read for, at the show that I did recently, said that like I feel that you are largely intuitive, and I do have empathic abilities, which I've really worked on, so I'm not so fucked up by other people's energy, I guess is the real way to put it out there. Um, One of the interesting things about empathy as well is that I have a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. And one of the traits of borderline personality disorder is like feeling other people's emotions. Um, so it's essentially like a psychological determination of empathy, which is ridiculous. But part of healing from borderline personality disorder is learning not to be controlled by others' emotions. And part of really stepping into your power of using empathic abilities to help other people is not being overpowered by other people's emotions. And like working a 12-step program, I'm exposed to a lot of dark shit on a regular basis. I'm exposed to a lot of people that are going through some dark times, have been through some dark stuff, have done some dark things. And if I was affected by everybody's energetic frequency or everybody's vibration, I'd be screwed. I wouldn't be clean almost 20 months tomorrow on May the 2nd. I'm pre-recording this, by the way, so people know. Um, but yeah, when you really start to pursue this on a deeper level, you have to look at things ethically. The other thing that like somebody who I have a lot of respect for, she's actually been a guest on the show, Beverly McDonald. She talked about how with doing Reiki and stuff like that, she has to seriously work on her own vibration and like work on her energy and like keep grounded and do like be in a good place with her to do this stuff. And as I transition more of like utilizing my gifts as a source of income, I thoroughly have to dive into that deeper. I have to expand my knowledge deeper. I have to like hold myself to a higher standard. And I'm not saying that anybody else has to do this. This is just me. And one of the last things that like I really wanted to touch on this topic is this whole concept of when I'm reading for somebody, I can't automatically dismiss the way that they're presenting a question just because their understanding of a situation doesn't fit into my narrative. So I had somebody ask me a question about ghosts or something like that. And personally, my understanding of spirits is substantially different than this person's based upon the way that they're wording it, everything like that. However, it becomes this sense of spiritual narcissism if I assume that my understanding on everything is correct. And it also goes against one of the basic tenets of what I've done with this podcast, what I've done with other things, which is assuming that other people should, like, not wanting to make other people believe what I believe and letting people think what they will, which is something that I really firmly stand by, but I fall short of it fucking so often. And I'm really, really understanding how I need to move forward with that. But in regards to this person asking this question about spirits, like my immediate response was like, no, that's not how spirits work. But that's not how I responded to the question. I drew the tarot cards and asked them the yes or no question, did the 3 cards, determined that their answer was no, but I didn't dismiss their approach to it because just because in my reality that's not the way that works doesn't mean that's not how it works in reality, or it doesn't mean that it negates their reality because it doesn't work for me. And that might not make sense to everybody. That might be instantly dismissed by some people. That's totally fine. Like, I'm not here to convince you of that this is the way that you need to do it. I'm just posting this opinion so other people could have a different understanding, and maybe if they're thinking about pursuing this, have some more food for thought on those topics. I'm about to close this out. I actually re-recorded this because I didn't like the original way because I forgot about the medical questions and I forgot about some of the other stuff, and I feel that this was a better expression of my original message. This is actually after I did Tai Chi and yoga, so I'm a little bit more calm. And the card that I drew is excess, stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, Gluttony, burdens, worries, the breaking point. And this really has been something that has been going on for me a lot lately. I've been excessively worried about moving forward, excessively worried about how I'm going to progress with everything. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I'm going to blow some steam off and relax. That's part of the reason I'm pre-recording this. So if you've been doing things in excess, give yourself a break, give yourself some love, practice some self-care, and be good to yourself. If you want a tarot card reading from me, book it from my site or send me a message on Facebook. I'm going to be changing the prices, updating this structure of how I do tarot card readings, and really branching out with that. Once I get back from vacation, not really going to lay things out. So if you want a reading, I would suggest that ordering it before the price changes and everything. And with that, love, light, peace, respect. Be good, people. Peace.